Greetings and welcome to another video in our series about VoiceAttack, the Elite VA plugin, and Elite Dangerous. In this episode, we're going to make some commands to get out on foot as well as getting back in the ship. We're going to be using 2 files today and possibly a third one. We've got the status txt, the bindings txt, and we might be using the journal txt because we want to know whether in Horizons and or Odyssey. The next thing we need to do is look at the role panel to see how that works before we can start making any commands to get out on foot or deploy in the SRV or the fighter. If we pop into the game, when we look down, if you're in Odyssey, you have 4 options. If you're in Horizon Zone, you'd only have 3. We've got the commander, the fighter, the SRV, and then crew at the very bottom. And when we go into any of these menus here and look back up, we go back down again, it doesn't reset to the home position, which will be up there, whatever that's going to be. Same as we go into the SRV and look back down again, we're still there. So we need to make a command that will always put us back to that default starting position in the top left column. We're going to VoiceAttack and we will make a new command. Actually, before we do that, there we go. So I'll just use the same format as in that. We're going to call this command every time we want to either deploy on foot in the SRV or the fighter. Reset role panel. And then we want to just copy that out of there, put that into there, and we'll just do reset role panel. And then we want to put this into called commands there. First thing we want to do is make this so it doesn't pop up onto the VoiceAttack log window every time it runs. We go to other, VoiceAttack action, and then ignore. And that way we don't get the little command pop up. And also I want to turn that off there because we don't want this to run by voice. The next thing we want to do is go to the role panel. So we go into the bindings and just find the role option. There we go. So it's called the radar panel in here. And then we can just do a condition to say, and then we want to do an integer because we're going to use the GUI focus in a second. So I'm just going to put GUI in there for a moment. So we've got it filled in, and then we want to do a key press toggle. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment. If we go back to the status file, looking for GUI. There we go, GUI focus, that's what we want there. At the moment it's 0 because we're looking straight ahead. If I pop into the game off camera and I go to the role panel and come back in, this is now 4. So we'll copy that out of there. And we're going to say, but if the GUI focus does not equal 4, we want to press a key. That way, if we're already in the role focus, it doesn't push the key again. That's the first bit. The other thing I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to do, when I press a button, just so I can do a joystick button to activate it while I'm testing it, rather than keep on saying a command or anything. So that's that bit there. We're checking to see if we're in the role panel. Now we need to make a loop to check that we are actually on it, because more often than not, we'll be looking straight ahead before we try and go to the roll panel. So now we need to do a loop, and we want to loop on the GY focus again. So we go in there quick, grab that. We'll do advanced, start loop. Does not equal 4. And then if it does, and now we want to put a slight pause in there. We want to do 1/4 of a second. So I'm going to edit that. And that will work, but there's no way of the loop ever breaking if we can't get to the roll panel. So we need to put a timeout in there, so it'll only loop X number of iterations. We're going to go other, set integer, loop, timer. We'll set that to 0. Now we need to add another condition to here. So edit condition builder. We want to do an and. Loop timer is less than. And then we need to work out how many times we want it to loop for. Because we're doing 1/4 of a second, if we do 12, that'll give us 3 seconds. Okay, that. And then we need to increment the loop by 1. The computed value by 1. And then underneath that, we can do another condition to tell us if the loop is timed out. That will be loop timer again is equal to or greater than, just to be on the safe side, 12. We can go and do a little bit of text. Command time out. Put it into red. Okay. So now if we do that and do one other thing I want to do quick, just so we can see that the command is actually running, I'm going to temporarily disable that there. Okay, that. Back into the game. Doing whatever we're doing. That works lovely. Press it again. We're still looking ahead. So now I'm going to click out of the game as if I bought tabbed and hit the button. All being well. There we go, timed out. So we know the loop won't run forever, which is a handy thing to do. We'll go back in, clear that, and then edit the command again. So now we know we're in the roll panel. We want to make sure we're in our default start position. If I pop into the game again very quickly, look down. From the on foot menu, we can go into there, and then to get back to the left-hand column, we need to do 2 taps. Unfortunately, we can't hold the button down and move. We have to do the 2 taps. And from everything in here, it's at least 1 tap. So we're going to do 2. I go back into here. So now we need to add in the keybinds to move to the left and go up to the top to our home position. So we need to go into the bindings file, and there we go. We want to go left. We want that one there. I want to do a pause. Then we can then duplicate that, drop it down, duplicate, pause, drop that down, and then we need to go back in here and we want to do up. We press, but this one we want to hold it down for a bit longer, half a second, just so that way we go all the way up. And we can okay that. And we can pop back into the game and give it a test. But what I want to do is, I want to move it to there. And it works. There we go. We can now get back to our home position, regardless of where we are in the role menu. So what we can now do is, that command's good. Now I'm going to clear that and untick it. There you go. So now we can use this to get out on foot. Bit of a faff, but we needed to do it. Now we've got this, we can use this any time we want to do anything on the role panel, be it get out on foot or deploy the SRV, etc. I'll okay that one. There's that, and now we can do a new command. Disembark. Leave the ship and exit the ship. You can put whatever options in there you want. So the first thing we want to do is execute another command. This will be the reset role panel there. We want to wait until this completes before continuing. And we can also say, just on the safe side, don't execute that command if it's already running. So that puts us into our start position, and now we want to go and deploy. And if we pop back into the game quickly, just to refresh our memory, we want to go right one, and then we want to do the select key. If I do that now, it gets us out on foot. Back on board again. And now we want to do key press, and we want to change that back to the quicker press, and we want to do UI right. Short little pause, and then we need to do another key press. This time we want UI select. Okay, that. Hop into the game. Turn on the mic. Disembark. Disembark. Leave the ship. There we go. Getting out on foot. Quite sure why Disembark didn't kick in, but we can check that in a sec. Oh, I've got an E in there. Oops, typo. Disembark. That worked. Helps when you can spell. What we need to do is a little description. We want to put that into a category, on foot commands. So that gets us out on foot. Now we can also do another command to get back on the ship again. If we come out of there, and if I go into the game, disembark. To get back into the ship, we need to be in the transport tunnel tube thing, and we do E in my case because that's what I bound it to, and then we do the UI select. That puts us back on board. we can replicate that. Disembark. Go back in and we'll do a new command. We'll do this at first. Get it out of the way. Unfortunately, there's no way of knowing if we're in the correct spot to get in the ship. We need to do a key press, and we want, and now which one's it going to be? I think it's going to be that one there, the primary interactive button, but we'll check in a second. Pause. For a second, key press, and it'll be UI select. Oh, I didn't give it a command name, did I? I've got a few commands. Oh, made a mistake there. There we go. So enter the ship, embark, get on board. Embark. Straight away. The only thing you might have a problem with that command is if your backpack contents can't fit on the ship, you'll get a little warning message pop up and you'd have to manage your inventory before you could board. You could either dump everything in your backpack or you could select which things you want to keep and then dump whatever's left. As I was editing this video, it suddenly occurred to me that you might want to get out on foot when you're in the SRV as well as the ship. So I've recorded this bit after and I'm just splicing it back in. As I say, fixing it in post. So if we want to deploy from the SRV, we can do that. We go into the game quick, look down. Now luckily, when we're in the SRV, we've only got the two options. One for foot, one to get back on board. So it's nice and simple. Go back up again, go back into the command. We don't need to change the actual command itself, but we do need to change the voice trigger and tweak the description. We'll do this one first. And now I want to do this. Now I should have done this differently in the first instance, but never mind. So I'll remove that and remove this. We'll make this its own little segment. Did that one, not delete. There we go. I want to make the optional. And then I need to put in the ship and the SRV. We're also going to add buggy. There we go. If I OK that, pop into the game, leave the SRV. And there we go. Now we pop back on board. So we can use the Embark command to get into the SRV, but we will need to make a couple of changes to it. We go back in. And again, we'll need to change the voice trigger and just edit the description slightly. We'll expand this a little, do the same as leaving the SRV command. And there we go. Enter the ship, SRV, buggy. I suppose we could. There we go. Now the is optional. Disembark. enter buggy. And if that's a bit too quick for you on your machine, just adjust the pauses accordingly. Recover SRV. There we go. We can now exit the ship and the SRV, as well as getting back on board or into the SRV, all with our voice commands. There's two other things we could do here. We could manage inventory and do a resupply. So the manage inventory is just literally transferring things to or from your suit and the ship. And then the resupply, which you can't do at the moment because we're full, resupplies any of your consumables. So if I come out of that and if I throw a grenade over here, now I can do the resupply. If I look at the inventory quick, here I've got one frag grenade in there. Resupply. Now I have 2 frag grenades. I'm just going to throw another grenade away and pop back into voice attack, and we'll add in a few more commands. So what I'm going to do is new command. Get that spelled correct. Manage inventory. We'll just copy that out of there. Category on foot. Commands. And then we want to do just a key press again, which will be back down there. Primary interaction. Pause. And then another key press. I actually have this in the clipboard. That one there. There you go. Before I do that, actually, I need to do another key press. I need to go down one, don't I? Go down one option. And then that should do that. Okay, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to do the I on shoe and balls. And I can duplicate that. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as it were. Manage inventory. Perfect. Resupply consumables. Now on the resupply one, we want to come back out of the menu again. So what I'm going to do is pop back into voice attack and that command, and then do a pause. I might make this a little bit longer, this pause, just to give us a bit of a time. There we go, quarter of a second. Okay, that, and then I want to do UI back, come out of that menu. Do that. Throw another grenade. Resupply consumables. Perfect. And if we bring up the menu again, we're fully resupplied. If the pauses are a little bit too quick for you, just increase them until they work. One thing I kind of forgot to add in, and I was umming and ahhing about whether to do it in the back of my mind, was a check to see if you've actually got Odyssey or not for the on-foot command. My thinking was, well, if you don't have Odyssey, you wouldn't give the command. But if it gets triggered automatically, I'm just going to put a quick check in so it ignores the command if you don't have Odyssey. If we go into the journal.txt file, under load game, it tells us Horizon's true, Odyssey true. So if we copy that out from here, go back into the command, and at the beginning we need to do, actually we'll do it at the end and I'll move it up afterwards. We're going to do a check to say if load game Odyssey equals false, we want to exit the command completely. And then I'll move it up to the top. Copy that. Okay, that. And we go put in that one there. And we go put in that one there. And we'll put it in that one there as well. There you go. All the on-foot commands now have a check in them to stop them working if we don't have Odyssey. Close that and we're done. So I thought I'd just add that little bit at the end of the video. We could do some other things when we deploy in the suit, such as equip the genetic sampler or engage shield automatically. And if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know and I'll make a video for that. Keep an eye out for the next ones, which will be deploying the fighter and deploying the SRV. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, what anything, put them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you've enjoyed the video or found it useful, click the like button, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe too and share the video out. Until the next one, take care and I'll see you soon. Toodles!